Hello, welcome to a very quick tutorial about how to submit activities for approval through LPDC. Now this is the new online system. We don't do anything by paper anymore. So any activities that you've completed and you want approval for toward your relicensure will need to be done using this system. So the very first step is to log on to My NCOCC as if you're going to check your email. On the left side, there is a hot link there for the IPDIPI manager, and you would click there, and that will take you to a screen that looks like this for you. Along the top, which you have seen this screen before, this is where you created your IPDIPI online. This is where you can look at your IPDIPI that you've created if you need to update it because you have some different things going on and you want to change things. That's how you would go about doing that. We're going to focus on the button that says Submit Activity. So you'll click there. A couple things to note. First of all, if you don't have an approved IPDIPI in the system, then it will not allow you to actually submit activities. So if you get an error message that says you have no approved plan, then that is your indicator that, oh, I've got to do my IPDIPI first. So it's kind of nice like that for the LPDC because then we know that you do have an updated IPDIPI on file. But once you have clicked on Submit Activity, then you're going to input the information that you need. So you would start with the activity name. Now we're going to actually use, as an example today, the credits that you had previously gotten approved in these last 4 or so years. These would have been coursework approvals that you took a class, submitted your transcript and got approval for, and that Shelley had on file. This could be professional development credits that we've been calling EAPs all of these years. That same thing, you attended, you submitted some sort of a certificate or transcript that proved that you attended and how many hours that was good for, and Shelley had it on file. Those files were updated through about mid-August. So whenever we had our very first voucher hour about this, that was the most current numbers. If you don't have those numbers, I have those in a file. And if you contact me because you don't know them, I would be happy to tell you how many that you had previously approved. So today what we're going to do is actually call these activities previously approved credits. And to make life easy on ourselves, we're going to go ahead and select today's date as the beginning and the end, because this submission is going to be very, very generic. For this generic one, we don't have to upload any kind of a file because these are things that you had already previously been approved for and sent us transcripts or certificates for. For anything outside of that, you would need to scan your transcript, and it would be very, very helpful to us as a committee if your transcript has more than one class on it. If you could somehow or another highlight that for us so that we know exactly what we're looking for. If your transcript's really long, it'd just be very, very helpful. We would greatly appreciate that. You have a certificate of attendance, whatever. If you pull this down, it actually gives you various options. So if it's a transcript, you choose transcript. But we're going to stick with certificate of attendance for these previously approved credits. Let's just say, though, as an example and instruction, that you did go to a workshop and you came away with a certificate of attendance and you're inputting that. You would want to scan that through the copying system, save that file to your desktop or to your thumb drive, whatever you use. And then in order to attach that, you would choose File. I'm going to just kind of show you how that looks here real quick. So, I've scanned my public works or saved my PDFs for my public works over, and then that is there. Another feature of this is this calculate seat hours to CEU credits. So all of this time, since the LPDC came into existence, we've been using those EAPs, those equivalent activity points, because way back when, they had told us that CEUs were basically ceasing to exist. Well, at some point or another, they did kind of come back up into existence, and now we're using CEUs again. If you don't want to do the math, which is basically take your EAPs and divide by 10, all you have to do is take your seat hours, click on this button, and no, okay, there it is. Let's say, as an example, you had on this slip that Shelley had accumulated for you. Let's pretend you have 165 EAPs, and you're going to type that into that nice little box up there. Oh no. Oh boy. And click submit quickly. Sorry about that. And it will automatically divide it by 10 and stick it into the CEU credit box. Let's say on that magic number file that you have from previous that you had 3 graduate credits. So you would go ahead and on this particular time, put those 3 semester hours on there as well. For our generic previously approved credits, we're just going to, under vendor, if it were a college, if it were straight college, you'd write or type in the name of the college here. But we're going to go ahead and put various on this example. The way that the system's set up is it doesn't allow you to leave any of these boxes blank as far as description or anything like that goes. So you have to put something in there. For the generic example, we're going to write various professional development credits since 2015, as an example, and whatever number would work for you. Under focus alignment here, it's asking how will or does this class activity benefit student achievement and relate to your focus. So you would want this to relate back to your ippy-dippy. So here I'm going to put increase content area knowledge. And again, that's very generic for this time. In previous, or in future ones, I should say, you would put the name of the vendor or the college, describe it. If it's a college class, it'd be very simple for you to copy and paste that course description right there. And then again, how does this relate back to your ippy-dippy and your classroom? Now, speaking of which, keep in mind that 2 things. One, we don't have you do pre-approvals anymore. So if you're going to go to a workshop, you don't need to tell us that you're going ahead of time. You only need to submit it for final approval once it's complete. So you would bring back that certificate of attendance, or you would, when you finished your coursework and you have your transcript, you would submit that transcript for final approval. So no more pre-approval. Don't send us pre-approvals. Secondly, because there's no pre-approvals anymore, that always puts you in that risky little spot of, will this class or this workshop that I have taken, will it count toward relicensure. I have to say that over the last few years, things have gone really well. People do only submit things that apply to their classroom um, licensure, or to if they're working on masters, all of that works. So it's been years since we've gotten anybody requesting to use underwater basket weaving to recertify or to relicense. So if you have questions about whether a particular professional development would work for your licensure and you're concerned, by all means, give us a call or email us before you take it so that you know for sure. I would say 9 times out of 10, it won't be a problem at all. But if you're worried, please let us know. Now, after you have completed all of your boxes, you would click Submit Activity. Then that activity that you have submitted, shoots over to the LPDC approval side of this software, and it waits for us to approve it. So that approval, you remember, we only meet on the third Thursday of the month, as unless there's something that happens that we can't meet. So if you submit it, at like the first of the month, just keep in mind it's not going to be looked at until that third Thursday. Then once that we look at it and approve it, it will show up on your current plan. And it's pretty nice because it does keep a running total for you so that you know exactly how many you have toward relicensure. If you haven't looked at that lately, remember it's 6 credit hours or 180 EAPs, which would now in CEU terms would be 18 CEU credits, or any combination thereof that equals those magic numbers. If you want like that mental conversion, 30 seat hours equals 1 semester hour. That's another equivalency that you can keep in the back of your mind. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions or problems, feel free to call or email one of us on the committee, and we would be happy to try to help you out.